I want to remind you that if you haven't gotten your workbook, you want to make sure to do that now. Also, you need to have the Google form opened using the link on the previous slide. Today, we're going to be practicing the develop lessons in our workbook for dividing unit fractions in word problems. Like I said in the introduction, I'm going to be reading the word problems to you. You're going to be asked to pause the video, solve the word problems in your workbook, and then enter the answers into the Google form. When entering the answers into the Google form, please just include the number answers. Do not include a label or any words. So let's take a look at our first problem. Please turn to page 478. The problem says Felipe has 1/4 of a pizza. He wants to share it equally with a friend. How much of the original whole pizza will each of them get? So, again, let's talk about who and what this problem is about. We have Felipe, and he has some pizza, and he wants to share it equally with one of his friends. What do we know in this problem? We know that there's 1/4 of the pizza, and Felipe and another friend are going to share it equally. You are being asked to find what part of the original whole pizza did each of them get. So let me show you a model to help you get started. So you can see that for this problem, we're doing 1/4 divided by 2. The problem is 1/4 divided by 2 because you can see that we're starting with 1/4 of the pizza, and we need to fair share this remaining part of the pizza with Felipe and a friend. So that's 2 people. Now, you want to think about how you can represent this problem using this model. I want you to go ahead and do that in your workbook now. Remember, when you are done, you need to go back to the Google form and enter your answer for this problem. Please push pause on the video now, complete the problem, and push play when you're ready to hear the next problem. Welcome back. We're now going to take a look at question 7 on page 478. It says, Angela uses 1/3 of her rectangular flower garden for roses. She plants equal rectangular areas of red, white, pink, and orange roses in this part of the garden. What fraction of the whole garden has red roses? Draw a model and write a division equation to represent and solve the problem. So again, let's talk about who and what this problem is about. We have Angela, and she has a flower garden. In this flower garden, she wants to plant some roses. We know that she's going to be planting red, white, pink, and orange roses. We know that the entire garden is only going to have 1/3 of it used for the roses. That 1/3 piece needs to be fair shared between the 4 different colors: red, white, pink, and orange. So there are 2 parts to this question. One, you need to come up with a division equation to represent this problem, and 2, you need to solve it. So let me show you a picture to help you get started. So you can see that this rectangle down below represents the entire garden. The part that's shaded green right here is only going to be used for roses. You can see that it says 1/3 of the garden will be used for roses. She is going to fair share this amount with these 4 colors, some for red, white, pink, and orange. You want to know what fraction of the whole garden will be used for red roses. So you want to think about how you can take this green piece, fair share it with the 4 colors, and then remember, we want to know the value of just one piece of the model for the red roses. Please push pause on the video now, complete the problem in your workbook, and then head over to your Google form to answer these 2 questions. When you're ready, come back and push play, and we'll go over the next problem. Welcome back. So now you need to turn to workbook page 480. I list the workbook pages for each problem in the top right-hand corner of the video, and we're going to look at problem number 4. The problem says, student volunteers are getting ready to hand out programs at a talent show. Leah and Thomas are each given half of a stack of programs to hand out. Leah divides her 1/2 equally among herself and 2 friends. What fraction of the original stack of programs do Leah and her 2 friends each have? Show your work. So in this problem, we know that there's a talent show and there are student volunteers. The student volunteers are handing out programs. Leah and Thomas each received some amount of programs. Leah decided that she wanted to have some of her friends help her hand out her stack of programs. So now, let's talk about mathematically what we know in this problem. We know that the stack of programs was split equally between Leah and Thomas, so they each received 1/2 of the stack to hand out. Leah then takes her 1/2 that she's starting with and equally divides it among herself and 2 friends. You're being asked to find what fraction of the entire stack, the original stack, do Leah and her 2 friends have. So again, let's look at this model. You can see that this green piece represents the half that Leah got. Now Leah's taking her half stack of programs, and she's going to fair share some for herself and some for 2 different friends. Again, you're being asked to find what piece of the original stack of programs, all of the programs, what fraction is Leah handing out? Again, it's now time for you to push pause on the video, head over to your Google form, and please complete the problems that go along with this story problem. When you are done, come back and push play, and again, I'll go over the next problem with you. All right, welcome back. So if you look in the right-hand corner, we've now moved to page 484, and we're going to look at question 9. Question 9 says, Stacy has 4 sheets of paper to make cards. Each card requires half a sheet of paper. How many cards can Stacy make? Draw a model and write a division equation to represent and solve the problem. So, this problem is talking about Stacy, and she wants to make some cards. She's going to be splitting up each piece of paper in order to make cards. So let's talk about mathematically what we know. We know Stacy's going to start with 4 sheets of paper, and then she's going to cut each sheet into a half sheet of paper to make a card. And you're being asked to figure out, well, how many total cards can Stacy make? So let's take a look. You can see down here, I'm starting with 4 pieces of paper. And again, Stacy wants to cut each of these papers in half. And each of those new pieces that she makes will represent a card that she can make. It's now time for you to, again, push pause on the video, solve this problem in your workbook, and then head over to the Google form and enter your answer. When you're ready, come back and push play, and we will go over the next problem. All right. So we are still on page 484, and we're going to look at question 11. Question 11 says, Dylan makes 3 submarine sandwiches. He cuts each sandwich into 6 to share. He stacks all the sandwich pieces on a plate. How many sandwich pieces does Dylan stack on the plate? Show your work. So, taking a look, we know that we have Dylan. Submarine sandwiches, that's another way of saying hoagies. So he has some hoagies and he wants to cut them up into pieces. And then he's going to put those pieces on a plate to share with his friends. So we know, though, that he's starting with 3 submarine sandwiches. And then he wants to take each of those sandwiches and cut them into 6. So that means 6 pieces. And we need to figure out how many total pieces. So here you can see that I use the image of actual hoagies or submarine sandwiches. You can just draw rectangles in your book. And you need to cut, or Dylan needs to cut, each of these into 1/6 size pieces. That means 6 total pieces for each of these. And we need to figure out, well, how many total pieces did Dylan make? This is your last problem for today. So again, solve the problem in your workbook, head over to the Google slide, and submit your answer. If you have any owed work from previous days, please complete that and make sure to email me if you have any questions on today's lesson or on any of the previous lessons that we have gone over. Thank you guys. Have a great day.